Welcome back to Narrator's Cut. Today we're going to show you a 2021 horror thriller movie called Old. A thriller about a family on a tropical trip who realize that the quiet beach where they are resting for a few hours is somehow causing them to age fast, condensing their whole lives into a single day. Enjoy and keep on watching. The Kappa family, parents Guy and Prisca and their sons Maddox and Trent, come to a luxurious resort for a family holiday. After settling into their rooms, Trent meets a little child called Idlib and they perform things like ask other resort guests what their names and professions are, and Idlib teaches Trent a unique code to read communications. Meanwhile, Guy and Prisca talk that this is simply one final vacation they intended to offer the kids before they divorce, which is made harder since Prisca is suffering from a stomach tumor. At breakfast, a doctor called Charles is dining with his younger vain wife Crystal, daughter Kara, and his mother Agnes. Nearby, a lady called Patricia is experiencing an epileptic seizure, which Charles assists with while her husband Jaron also attempts to aid. Trent also notices Idlib, since they had arrangements to meet together again that day, but the resort manager forces him leave the area. The Kappas, plus Charles and his family, all board a vehicle that takes them to a secluded beach. There, Maddox recognizes a rapper, midsize sedan, real name Brendan, who was previously spotted with a female buddy who went skinny dipping. The youngsters all play together as the grown-ups recline on the beach. The children unearth ancient dolls buried in the sand, left behind by previous youngsters. Trent swims past a cave when he uncovers the corpse of Brendan's buddy, seemingly having drowned. The grown-ups inspect the corpse, while Brendan is suffering from nosebleeds and is equally astonished by the finding. Charles suspects Brendan of foul play, but he says that the lady just went for a swim and never came back. Long after, Agnes starts to get short of breath before she also dies. Jaron and Patricia come to the beach as well, but the folks who brought them are already gone. The youngsters also start to feel something unusual. Brendan reveals to the adults that the lady he was with had multiple sclerosis while he had hemophilia, which explains his continual nosebleeds. Aaron and Patricia chat to Trent and Maddox, who have unexpectedly grown up, along with Kara. Several efforts are made to escape the beach, by walking through the rocks that seal off the beach from the outside, but all the adults who try to pass through feel a hammering in their brains before they black out and wind up back on the beach. They also observe weird phenomena, like when Charles assaults Brendan with a knife. The slash mark heals within seconds. Not long later, Brendan learns that the deceased corpse of the lady he was with has now entirely decayed to nothing but bones within hours, making them believe that there is something time-related going on the beach. Suddenly, the growth in Prisca's stomach begins to cause her agony and anxiety. The grown-ups attempt to aid her, with them feeling around for the tumor at first and characterizing it as the size of a golf ball. They continue to undertake a surgery to remove the tumor, which has now grown to the size of a melon. The wound in Prisca's tummy heals swiftly following the treatment. Trent and Kara age up considerably more. What's worse is that Kara has magically grown 5 months pregnant inside a couple of minutes. The grown-ups prepare themselves for the delivery, which comes relatively swiftly, but the infant dies within a minute owing to lack of care. The other grown-ups start to display more noticeable symptoms of age, but Crystal takes the process considerably harder than the others. Charles begins to lose his mind to schizophrenia, prompting him to stab Brendan to death. The others take his weapon away while attempting to come up with another strategy of escape. Knowing they can't get through the rocks, Jaren tries to swim to find a way out. While this occurs, Trent and Maddox uncover a notepad left by a previous guest, with names and medical problems jotted down. They also observe what appears like humans in the distance monitoring them. Maddox speaks to Prisca about whether or not she and Guy are breaking up. Prisca says that she was seeing another guy. Although Prisca attempts to explain herself, Maddox is upset with her. She rushes down to the shore and strives to be brave and find a way out alone, but she discovers Jaren's corpse, seemingly having gone asleep and drowned. Upon viewing his corpse, Patricia experiences a deadly seizure. Kara then urgently attempts to find a way out and begins climbing up the rocks to try to make it to the top, but before she can make it high enough, she blacks out and falls to her death, leaving Trent distraught. It is now evening. Charles has been entirely unhinged while Crystal is likewise losing her wits at her fast aging and decreasing physical condition. Guy is likewise losing his vision, and Prisca is significantly grayer. Guy and Prisca chat about the other man in Prisca's life, with Guy confessing he knew about him and wishes that he'd done more to keep their marriage functioning. But he also adds that the other guy is a loser and that she deserves someone better. Charles then tries to assault Guy and Prisca, while Trent and Maddox are attacked by Crystal when they attempt to gaze at her. She pursues them into the cave and her body gets twisted and distorted to awful angles before she dies there. Prisca then slices Charles with a rusty knife, producing an infection that swiftly spreads through his body and kills him. The Kapos then assemble around the campfire and the beach. The increasingly old Guy is having a hard time communicating and remembering things, but he basically concedes to Prisca that he still loves her moments before he dies. Prisca then sits up for a minute but falls and dies at Guy's side as both kids grieve their parents. In the morning, Trent and Maddox are now in their 50s. Trent brings up a code that Idlib gave him, which he decoded and determined out reads, "My uncle doesn't like the coral." The twins spy a coral reef nearby and understand that it must be their route out. The two swim out there, but Maddox's clothes becomes trapped on the coral. When the two don't resurface, the van driver who took the families to the beach informs to his supervisors that all members of Trial 73 Inches have drowned. It is then revealed that the resort is a cover for a medical research team that brings patients with medical issues to the beach in order to do clinical trials for life-saving medications, administered to them in the cocktails supplied upon arrival. They know that the mystical beach speeds up the aging process, so they limit the trials to a full day for better results. They think they healed Patricia's epilepsy because she didn't have a seizure for 8 hours, which is comparable to nearly 16 years on the beach. The resort manager and others try to steal their newest captives until they are stopped by Trent and Maddox, who manage to free themselves from the coral. Trent discovers a guy he talked to while he was still a youngster. Knowing the man is a police officer, he offers the guy the notebook discovered on the shore, which includes the names of numerous missing persons and their medical issues. Idlib comes out and recognizes Trent even as an adult. Trent and Maddox expose the facts to everyone as all the resort personnel understands they are screwed. Authorities arrive to arrest all the resort personnel, while the officer takes Trent and Maddox to live with their aunt, who is not ready to see that her niece and nephew are full-grown adults. That's all there is to it. I hope you like the movie. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more recap movies like this. We'll see you soon. Take care.